if you, all right, I guess would you use the dot unwrap for this to for some purpose or
Yeah.
yeah? So I'm assuming that the thing that would I use would dot unwrap go at the end of right here?
Um, are you on the line you mean to be on?
Yeah. So no, then the dot unwrap would not go here. It would go here.
Yeah. So dot unwrap is going to take the place of the question mark.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because so you can think of the question mark actually as being unwrap or return.
Okay,
That's pretty much all the question mark is.
okay. So I would do dot unwrap here,
Yep.
and then I would give it this
Yep.
whole thing. Um, but this would only take care of the string, right?
Uh, yes.
Okay. So then the next question that I have then is if I'm already unwrapping this here,
Yeah.
why why is the result type all of this then?
Ah, okay, good. So the result, remember, is the function return type. So
Yes.
it applies to your whole function, not just the stuff inside of the function. Like it's telling other people what you're going to return to them.
Okay.
So these unwraps that you just changed, actually you were already unwrapping the stuff locally in the file,
Okay.
but by using the question mark, you were saying if something went wrong inside the function, you were just going to pass along the error.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
I see how it's kind of a subtle distinction.
I think that where I was confused on was like if I used the dot unwraps in certain places, I could essentially delete this whole result right
Yes,
here.
you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And it would just be like an empty result.
Um, why don't you show me what you mean by empty result?
Okay. All right. Actually, this is good right here. So, like right here, that is what I would assume would go here when I use dot unwrap. Like it would just be empty. Like these parentheses would be empty.
No.
Okay. All
That
right.
tells you that the OK variant is empty. So that's what happens when you're just returning a result to say whether something is okay or not.
Okay.
But what you want to do, you still need to return your string and all the vex.
Right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So you would actually you can eliminate result entirely.
And just return the error or return everything. Oh no, because error was within result.
Yeah, error is one of the variants of result.
So
So
like
you can
I would just
completely get rid of result. Yeah, just delete the word result and the angle brackets.
oh man, that's kind of scary. How do I know what I'm getting out of this function?
What you're okay, don't delete everything. Delete the word result. Because you still have to know what you're getting out. That's exactly right. So delete the less than, and then
And
go
then do it.
delete the part that says error. Like comma, delete from the comma to the other angle bracket.
Okay.
There.
Okay. And so this down here, this okay is still good then? Because we were still
Well, why don't you save it? It'll tell you whether or not it is. So
all
that's
right.
what's really nice about Rust. Like, the compiler will always tell you what's going on, or the language server in this case.
Okay. All right. So it definitely says it's definitely got some upsetty spaghetti type stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right. I guess this is where I should run it and it will
Sure. Yeah.
hopefully help. Oh no. Okay. Okay, so the question mark operator cannot be applied to this type. Okay. Help. The trait try is not implemented. Okay.
Yeah. I think the next error might be more helpful.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay, the question mark operator can only be used in a function that returns result or option. Okay, so that just tells me that when I'm up here, I would need to delete this question mark at least to take care of that one result
Yep.
or that one error. Uh, okay, so I got rid of that one. Um,
Yeah, because remember, the question mark unwraps or returns the error, but you're already returning the unwrapped value now. So you don't need the question mark on the call to load you on.
right. Um, okay, okay. This function should return result or option to accept this. Does this message right here go with this?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, so this function should return result to accept this. Okay, so that's basically the same thing here. Okay,
Yeah, you actually already fixed one instance of this error, but we never actually saw that it was an error.
I see. Okay, so now we have we got something else going on here.
Yeah, you actually got a new error after
Okay,
fixing one.
okay.
And I think, I mean, the language server, you should be able to hover over it. Yeah, okay.
So method not found in result file error. Oh, okay. The method read to string exists on the type file. Okay. Consider using result expect to unwrap the file value, panicking if the value is a result error. So this is where I would use file.expect reason or whatever.
Sure.
That's very interesting. Okay, so file dot expect,
Yep.
and then what is so this reason?
Yeah.
What is the reason? What does that mean? Like,
It's,
oh, is it saying that I should expect there to be an error? I don't understand
yeah,
what that
yeah.
means.
So, expect is just unwrap with a custom message.
Okay.
So, when you just
Would
call
them?
unwrap, it's just going to panic directly. But if
Uh
you
huh.
call expect, you could write something like failed to open file. That's what it means
Uh
by
huh.
reason. Like, that's a user supplied reason, what you want to
Okay.
say if it fails.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'll type that. Failed to open file. Perfect. That's easy.
Yeah.
And then dot read string.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. That's good with me. I like that. Uh, and then the last thing is this OK contents here. So it says, uh, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and expected this because of the return type, and I'm assuming the return type has something to do with this OK down here,
Yep.
or it. Okay, so it expected this note expected tuple found in enum. Okay, so I just delete contents charge x y and z then from this lit? No. Okay.
So it says expected tuple
Yeah.
found enum result containing your tuple, if you look at it.
Okay.
So, do you remember what we had to do to the return type when we deleted result? Now you need to delete the result from the actual return. So OK is a variant of result. So you need to clean up the last vestige of the result.
Oh, right. Okay, because OK belongs to result.
Yes.
Okay. So like I would just it just there's no OK anymore. It just
Yep.
the function's just over and done with.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh so remember you want to return some values, you just don't want to wrap them in OK.
Okay. So I just don't need OK.
Yeah, you just don't need OK.
like that, and then would I get rid of the?
One more set of parens. Those were from the OK. There.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so this result stuff I think was really confusing to start out with. Because
Yeah.
let's take a quick look at your function now, right?
Yes.
You've got fn load geom arrow, so returns,
Yeah.
a tuple containing a string and 4 vectors.
Yes.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's what most functions look like.
Okay.
Results are another layer on top of that. So you can I think usually you would see this in the reverse order. You would have a function like this that returns a thing. And then in the future, if you wanted to be able to say, oh, this returned successfully or not, then you would actually add the result return rather than trying to subtract it off like we just had to do.
Okay.
That would don't think too much about that. I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, I think that would have been a more natural way for you to encounter this concept.
Okay.
But because we're dealing with files and stuff can fail, we were faced with this result stuff from the beginning.
I see. Well, it says I still have something going on here.
Yep.
So if I do this, it says remove this mute. The variable does not need to be mutable. It no longer needs to be mutable for some reason.
Yep.
So why does it not need to be mutable?
I think because the expect is doing something magical slightly.
Magical. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I go to the is there
Yeah, so go put your cursor on read to string. Yeah, or go over here.
read?
It's fine. Yeah, put your cursor on read to string and hit Control CD.
Okay.
Yeah, so it does say that it needs to be ref mute. That's why I said expect must be doing something magical. Because
Okay.
expect is like unwrapping it and then allowing it to be mutable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I
I
can
think
I all
I
right.
think another thing you could do, you remember how we put the unwraps on the end of the lines before? For example, your read to string line ends with dot unwrap.
Yes.
If you move your dot expect onto the file open line, I think it will also need to be mutable again.
Okay.
I don't again, expect is doing something weird here. But this is one of those situations where I know this is hard when you're learning, but this is a situation where it doesn't actually matter. Don't worry about it. If the compiler tells you it doesn't need to be mutable, just delete the mutt and and move on with your life.
Beautiful. Okay. Sounds good to me.
So either one of those options I think would be good.
That is amazing. Hey yo, look at that.
There you go.
All right, so we did some refactoring.
Yeah. This would be a great time to commit.
I'm not committed.
All right. That's okay too.
Oh, XP. Unstaged. SCC. Commit. Let's see. Refactor. Moved. Loading geometry to own function.
Nice.
And factor. Okay. Now that that's a good thing, now I can hit Control C, Control C.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Well, that's committed.
Very nice. Yeah, I always like to do that. I mean, it's a good habit, I guess, like when you're working with people, and so you can revert stuff in the future. But I also like to just take a second and basically summarize what I just did.
That's good.
Now,
Nice.
one other thing, just while we're here, or you can close the get stuff. But if you wanted to add documentation to the function, the way you do that is right above the function, you start a comment with 3 slashes.
Oh, nice. Okay. Like that?
Yep.
Okay. Uh, I don't. I mean, what? So what would what? I mean, I kind of feel like
This one
I
might
don't
be
know.
self-explanatory, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Now that we're writing functions, if you want to document them, this is how you do it. I mean, you could just
Yeah,
say something simple like load a geometry from geom.text.
load a geometry from geom.txt and split it into appropriate into
Yep,
appropriate vectors.
perfect. Great, you documented your function. Now, actually, one thing I was thinking about here that I thought you might catch when I was talking about the documentation is that this doesn't actually do everything that you mentioned earlier. Remember how you said you might at some point might want to read from a different file?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This
This.
function
Oh
does
yeah.
not do that.
This one specifically loads from this one specific.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's very. It's not. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not. I don't know what the word is. I know.
reusable,
Yeah. I guess reusable.
something
I
like
was trying
that.
to say something like it's something else, but yeah, it's not
Modular.
re. Yeah. So I mean, like, um, how would I tell it to load from like? Okay, if I was to do this from the command line, maybe not. Maybe that's not what I would want to do, but I don't know. I feel like there's many different directions you can go with giving this a file, right? Like you
Right.
could.
So let's start with this at the function level. So I wasn't getting at like if you wanted to run this as its own program. I just
Okay.
mean if you wanted to call loadgeom as a function on a different file.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about return types, but this would bring us to arguments, like passing arguments to functions,
Yeah.
which is going to be
Okay.
important, I think, when we start computing bond length.
Yeah.
So I
Well, then I
think,
mean, I guess file would have to take some argument, right? Like
yeah.
this file open would have to take an argument.
So file open already takes an argument, and you can actually see this from the inlay hint. It takes,
A
it names
path.
its argument path, and it takes a string basically.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is allow your function to take an argument that it can pass down to file open.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Well, okay, we don't have to do this. It's just an idea because you mentioned
Well,
it
yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So what were you saying? You said we would need to do what to pass it to file open? We need to give the function something to pass to file open. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going too fast? I don't want to. We might be overloading you. We've covered a lot of new stuff today already.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite ready for that one just
Okay.
yet.
Forget I said anything. How do you
Okay.
feel about what we have done? I know the result stuff felt a little tricky. Do you have any lingering questions on that?
I think if I do, I wouldn't know how to ask them.
Do you feel uneasy? I feel a little bit uneasy. I feel like you might be uneasy. Is there? Do you want to try to talk about anything?
I mean, I guess I still don't quite understand like the whole result thing. Like I don't necessarily know a lot about the what that does. I mean, is result is what is result? Like what is result?
Okay, so let's write our own result really quickly.
Okay.
Just go to the top of your file, above main, below the imports. Okay,
Okay.
type the word enum
Enum.
space capital R result less than capital T comma
Okay.
capital E greater than space curly brace enter OK open paren T Open paren, sorry, not curlies.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, close the paren, comma,